Hey, how's it going, bros? Today I'm making this video about this flight simulator. This is the Prepare 3D. I think that's how to pronounce its name. I'm making this flight from Italy to Zurich in Sweden, Switzerland. So this is a Boeing 787 by Emirates Airlines. I'll show you guys it from outside. Such a beautiful airplane. So I'll give you guys now a briefing about what's going on. So right now we are 128 nautical miles away from our destination. We are 16,000 feet and 350 knots. This is our air traffic around, pretty busy. And we are now about to start our descent to the Zurich airport. So let me contact the air traffic control and see whether I have the permission to start my descent or not. Request flight following, request IFR clearance.
Center, Emirates 1 Heavy, 7 miles southeast of Audio, request IFR Zurich, ready to copy. Emirates 1 Heavy, clear to Zurich Airport and filed, squawk 6504. Mooney, Charlie, November, Romeo.
So the radio frequency is pretty busy as there is a lot of airplanes around. So it's hard to have an opportunity to talk on the radio.
Emirates 1 Heavy, cleared at Zurich Airport as filed, squawk 6504.
So that's my first time landing on Zurich Airport, so it's always a challenge to land an airplane in a different airport.
Turn right heading 330, proceed on course, descend and maintain 16,000, Emirates 1 Heavy.
Right now we are 150 nautical miles away, so it's really important to keep. You will not have enough time to make all the things you have to do. So let me now do what the traffic control asked me to do. They asked me to turn right, heading 230. So I control that here in this heading switch, and then I turn off the LNAV and turn on the heading switch, the heading controller here. So now I'm flying through the heading controller, and as the air traffic control asked me to change directions, then I switch it on the heading controller here and follow exactly what the air traffic controller is asking me to do. Right now we are 104 nautical miles away from our destination, so it's really important to keep this screen with a certain zoom, because you don't want to miss your approach. So if you miss your approach, then you will have a double work to do. You have to go around and do a lot of stuff just because you wasn't paying attention to you had to do.
American Pacific Vortex 5.
Alright, now the thing I'm waiting for is I'm waiting for directions from the air traffic controller. I'm waiting for them to tell me the direction I have to go and the altitude I have to fly. Now they just told me to go 16,000 feet, so I'm 16,000 feet.
Climb and maintain 9,000. Climb and maintain 9,000. American Pacific 465.
So
Air Force 5061, descend and maintain flight level 240. Descend and maintain flight level 240.
So right now we are 92 nautical miles away. So it's really important to stay focused on the distance you are from your destination, because you have to switch the flight speed. Because as you get closer to the airport, you have to start to decrease your speed. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Right now we are flying 350 knots. So I'm switching and decreasing this for 280 knots. And start to decrease the speed is something really important to not missing your approach. For not missing your approach, so also it's really important to keep an eye on this screen, because as you can see here, this is our destination and you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention how is the runway, what direction is the runway. So as you can see here, we are not lined up with the runway, so it's better pay attention how to line up with the runway, because you want to reach the runway lined up with it. You have to be lined with the runway. So pay attention to the direction in which you will reach the runway. So there is pretty intensive air traffic around. You can see the airplanes around. I will try to zoom in it. So this is the mountains in Zurich, in Switzerland. You can see all the mountains. They are really tall, really high mountains, and you can see beautiful lakes and the clouds. I think that's pretty cold outside. Let me show you guys this airplane. This is the Boeing 787 by Emirates Airlines, a pretty beautiful airplane. And honestly, the Boeing 787 and the Airbus A350 is my favorite airplanes, because they are really technological airplanes. You can control everything from the screens.
Contact Zurich Center on 126.225.
Now I'm switching frequency to the Zurich Center on 126.225.
Zurich Center, Emirates 1 Heavy, with you, 16,000.
So right now we are 69 nautical miles away, so I'm reducing speed for 210 knots.
Turn left, heading 025, descend and maintain 14,000. Report runway in sight. Bombardier, Charlie Alpha Kilo, please expedite your descent to 14,000. Emirates 1 Heavy, you are 8 miles southeast. Turn right, heading 005, expect vectors ILS, runway 34, approach, Bombardier, Charlie Alpha.
Now I have an assigned approach already. They give me an approach, so I have to follow their instruction. I'm trying to acknowledge the assigned approach, but the radio is pretty busy.
Expect vectors ILS, runway 34, approach, Emirates 1 Heavy.
So I'm switching now the heading for 005, just like the air traffic controller asked me to do. And they said me I'm going to land in the runway ILS 34. So I'll have now to connect to this runway frequency, ILS frequency. To do that, I go in here, touch in this antenna here, and then I select my approach. And it's already selected ILS 34, ILS tuned, and I have to activate. ILS 34 is my approach, runway 34, ILS 34. Frequency is 110.750. So I have no signal for now, but I am already tuned in the ILS frequency. So now that I'm tuned to the ILS frequency, I only have to wait until I reach the localizer. When I reach the localizer, then the airplane connects with the antennas in the runway, and then the airplane follows exactly what the airplane will follow exactly what the signs given by the antennas in the runway. So the airplane basically lands itself. This is very useful in bad weather conditions, but because we have such a good, kind of good weather conditions, it's not going to be, I think it's not going to be necessary to land this airplane using the ILS approach, which is instrument landing system approach. I think I will be able to land it manually, visually. Now they ask me to descend, to go down and maintain 12,000 feet. So I control that here on the autopilot. In the autopilot switches. Now I'm going down to 12,000 feet and going down less 1,800 feet per minute. Acknowledge instruction. So remember I told you guys to always pay attention to how far away you are. Right now we are 42 nautical miles away from our destination. So it's really important to keep the screen with the accurate zoom, because you want to see our runway. So that's our runway right here. This runway 34, you can see, to line up with it, you have to come from this direction here. To be lined with it, you have to come from this direction here. So that's why, instead of following this pink line here, we are going a little bit ahead, straight ahead. We are going a little bit straight ahead. And when we got to this point, we're gonna turn left and then line up with the runway 34. And by this point, we're gonna already have the localizer signs and the glide slope signs from the antennas. And then we're gonna be able to be tuned with them, and the airplane will be able to land itself automatically. But as I was saying before, because we have a good weather condition, I don't think it's gonna be necessary to land this airplane automatically by ILS, by instrument land system. I think we're gonna land it visually, manually.
Mooney, Sierra, Echo, Tango.
So something that I'm worried about is because these mountains around, they are pretty high mountains, and the air traffic controller is keep asking me to go down. But right now we are 12,000 feet. So as you guys can see, we are now 35 nautical miles away. So it's time once more to reduce speed and starting adding flaps. So reducing speed now for 170 knots, and as we reduce speed, we're gonna start adding flaps. So flaps, they have limits, speed limits. So flap 1 is 220 knots, 250 knots. So because we are 220 knots, it's already possible to add flaps in flap 1. Flap 5 is 230 knots. Because we are below 230 knots, it's already possible to add flap 5. Flaps 15 is 250 knots. Because we are below it, it's already possible to add flaps 15. Alright, now they talked to us. They said, turn left heading to 275.
Left heading 275. Emirates 1 Heavy.
275.
Orbit 7180, turn right heading 180, resume on navigation, descend and maintain flight level 260.
As I was saying before, we just came a little bit ahead, and then we are lining up with the runway. We are kind of lining, because the air traffic controller, they have a lot of airplanes for landing, so they kind of make us go around a little bit to have time for the other airplanes to land, and then when they have free runway, they gave us instructions to go straight and land. So right now we are 29 nautical miles away. So it's very important to have this screen with the properly zoom, so you will not miss the runway direction, the right direction. So right now we are 170 knots, 7,000 feet. 170 knots, 7,000 feet, and 26 nautical miles away. They told us to turn left 240. So acknowledge instruction. Turn left heading 240. Alright. As you can see, they are making us make small turns to line up with the runway, and also to give them time for the other airplanes land safely. As you can see, the radio frequency is pretty busy, as there is a lot of airplanes flying in this area. As you can see here, all these yellow airplanes here, is the airplane flying around us. So it's very important to keep always paying attention at your flaps level, at your speed, at your altitude, and paying attention to the radio as well. So this is a lot of work for just one person to do. So it is really important for in real life. That's why they have two people flying the airplane. They have the first officer, which is the pilot, which could be the pilot flying or the pilot monitoring. The pilot monitoring, he usually keep in contact with the air traffic controller, and he keep monitoring the screens and helping the pilot flying. The pilot flying, he controls the airplane. So now I have instructions once more. You are 34 miles, so turn heading 305. Turn heading 305. 305. Descend and maintain 5,000. So let's descend to 5,000 feet. Descending to 5,000 feet. ILS, runway 34, I'm already tuned to its ILS frequency. Maintain 5002 established on the localizer and contact the Zurich tower on 119.7. We are going down less 1,800 feet per minute. So let me acknowledge the approach. So they gave me the frequency for the Zurich tower, which is 119.700. So let me tune to its frequency.
Tower, Emirates 1 Heavy is 30 miles southeast, inbound ILS, runway 34, approach. Emirates 1 Heavy, Zurich Tower, make straight in, runway 34, altimeter 2992. Fly straight in, runway 34, Emirates 1 Heavy.
Now I have the option to declare miss the approach. This is in case of I miss the approach, because sometimes you come too fast, you miss the approach completely. Then you declare that in the radio. You can declare it publicly or in private. And I have the option to request the approach direction. So let me check once more if I'm already tuned to the ILS frequency. So as you can see here, I am tuned to the ILS 34, but I'm still far away, so I have no sign for now. Usually we have, alright, now we have sign. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, because we are established on the localizer, what I'm going to do is turn off the heading and turn on the localizer button here. And now we can see we are in the localizer. We are tuned to the localizer. Let once more reduce the speed. Reduce the speed for 150 knots and add more flaps. Flaps 25 is 180 knots. So I am way too fast for that flaps, so I will use the speed brakes right here. Oh no, this is parking brake. Speed brakes right here. Oh, way too much, way too much. Whoa, come on guys. Alright, reducing speed with the speed brakes.
Tower, Mooney, Hotel Bravo 2 and Juliet Bravo, ready to go.
So flaps 25 to 180 knots.
2500.
Mooney, Hotel
So I
Bravo
can
2
already
and Juliet Bravo, cleared for takeoff, runway 34.
I can already use this flaps
Cleared
25.
for takeoff, runway 34. Mooney, Hotel Bravo 2 and Juliet Bravo.
Flaps 30, below 170 knots. Below 170 knots. So I can already use the flaps 30. Speed set for 150 knots. So let me, stall, restalling the airplane. So let's make the procedure for stall. The procedure for stall is pointing the yoke down and throttle for full power. I turn off the autopilot, now I turn it on again.
Mooney, Zulu, Juliet Bravo, contact.
Hopefully the airplane had some problem.
Going to 118.0, Mooney, Zulu, Juliet Bravo.
Wow, the airplane is kinda having some trouble. Localizer approach. Gear down.
Tower, Air Force 213 miles southeast, inbound ILS, runway 34, approach.
So they are saying anti-sign.
Zurich Tower, fly straight in, runway 34, altimeter 29902. Keeping straight in, runway 34, Air Force 2134.
Wow, that's pretty difficult to land this. Pretty difficult to land in this airport. Really, it's pretty difficult. For real. The airplane stalled. The airplane almost stalled with me. That's crazy. But it was nice to show what is the procedure for.
Inbound ILS, runway 34.
All right.
903, Zurich Tower, fly straight in, runway 34, altimeter 29902. Fly straight in, landing and departing runway 34.
I don't remember if I had the permission for landing, but now it's too late.
World Travel 47907, this plus 4 miles southeast, inbound ILS, runway 34, approach. World Travel 47907, Zurich Tower, make straight in, runway 34, altimeter 29902, Air Force 2134, cleared to land, runway 34. Cleared to land, runway 34. Air Force 2134.
I have to land it manually because I will miss this approach.
797.
2500.
Emirates 1 Heavy. Zurich Tower, American Pacific 80906, ready for IFR departure, runway 34. American Pacific
I'm controlling the airplane manually.
Short, runway 34, traffic is experimental, not final. Hold short, runway 34, American Pacific 80906.
I'm kinda too high. And also there is another airplane in the final, so I'll have to be careful not to not to hit this airplane, to crash the airplane with the other in this final. But the air traffic controller, they shouldn't allow both of us to land at the same time. But whatever. If they told us I'm able to do that, let me do that.
$1,000.
So I'm kinda too fast, but I had to land manually because the airplane was having trouble to follow the localizer and the glide slope signs. So
Approaching
yeah,
minimums.
I will land it manually.
Minimums.
Going around, Emirates 1.
Go around.
100.
Emirates 1
50,
Heavy.
40,
Contact
30,
Zurich approach on
20, 20.
Air Force 2134, exit runway when able. World travel
20, 20, 10.
Cleared to land.
I'm not going around.
Followed experimental on
Wow, what a terrible landing.
Cleared to land, runway 34. World travel 4797.
Wow. I hit the other airplane.
118.0. Emirates 1 Heavy.
I'm not going around. I had so much trouble to land this airplane.
Number 2 for landing. Follow the aircraft on final. Air Force 2134. Zurich ground. Emirates 1 Heavy. Request taxi to the gate. Emirates 1 Heavy. Taxi to gate Alpha 46. Using taxiway Echo. Echo 5 Foxtrot.
So guys, this was our landing. I know it was terrible,
Air Force 2134.
but
Taxi to gate Bravo
yeah,
7. Using taxiway
it was
Bravo
just a test to see whether I'm able or not to land an airplane in this flight simulator. It wasn't a good landing. I just missed the approach, but that's okay. That was just for fun. That's it guys. Thanks for watching.